The first area of my commercial dance training that I will be improving on is my freestyle and improvisation. To work on this, I have been actively engaging in both practical and theoretical approaches. I know that there is much more to freestyle than spontaneous movement, so I researched into different studies covering this topic to deepen my understanding of improvisation. One particular resource that has helped me is Dance Improvisation as Dance Technique by Peggy Schwartz, which highlights the importance of the relationship between improvisation and formal technique. This idea of having fundamental basics as a starting point for my movement resonated with me, as I think incorporating this will help me with my confidence and nerves when improvising. Using this study as a starting point, I have been dedicating time to structuring a clearer understanding of fundamental movement. Building a set of essential motifs, both stationary and travelling, across various floor levels will help in building a more versatile movement range, which I can vary and adapt on whilst freestyling. My goal is to ingrain these fundamental motifs into my muscle memory, so I don't panic trying to think of my next movement. This process will not only strengthen my freestyling, but also challenge myself to create movement out of my comfort zone. The next area I am focusing on is my retention, more specifically my ability to quickly learn, retain and stylize choreography. To improve this skill, I have been attending open classes. These classes provide a challenging environment where I am required to take on choreography at a faster pace, often with limited time to rehearse. These classes also help in training my body and mind to retain movement more efficiently, reducing the feeling of panic that often occurs when I feel under pressure when learning choreography for the first time. Open classes are especially valuable for my training as they mimic real-world industry scenarios like auditions or professional rehearsals, where dancers are expected to learn material quickly and perform it almost immediately. By putting myself in these situations more frequently, I'm gradually building my capacity to handle this type of pressure when performing. As a part of this process, I am intentionally stepping outside of my comfort zone, whether through dancing alongside unfamiliar people, learning from new choreographers, or adapting to a variety of movement styles. Over time, I am hopeful that these open classes will lead to noticeable improvements on how I retain and deliver choreography. The third aspect of my commercial dance training that I am aiming to improve on is my stamina and overall physical endurance. As a dancer, I am expected to perform at high intensities for extended periods, so improving my endurance is essential to make sure I can dance at a consistent level without fatigue affecting my performance or movement execution. During my research, I came across an academic journal titled The Benefits of Running by Selma Roth, which delivers an insight on the effects of running on lung health. As quoted, Roth states, "Running helps to maximise the lungs' potential, as it keeps them strong and powerful. We normally use only 50% of our lung potential, but running encourages the use of the other half. Research has proven that running improves the lungs 1.5 times more than the average person. Therefore, I have chosen to incorporate running into my daily routine. My aim is to go on at least one run a day, adjusting the time and intensity based on the time I have available each day. This may range from a short 5-minute jog in the evening to a longer, more sustained run when my schedule allows. The key for me is consistency, building a habit of movement that strengthens my cardiovascular system over time. This will help my training as I will be able to dance for longer without getting us out of breath, as running will hopefully improve my lung health and strength." The last skill I am working to improve on is my movement execution. Throughout this past term, specifically during our show rehearsal classes, we have focused on what it means to execute movements with precision and control. For instance, we have been taught that full extension means pushing the limbs to their absolute maximum range, not just going through the motion of the move. In my own time, I have been rehearsing choreography at a slower pace, breaking down each individual movement to focus on achieving a controlled maximum. Practicing movement slowly and with intention helps me to better understand the energy and extension needed to perform at full speed. By building the habit of reaching the full extension when marking, I am training my body to maintain that same level of commitment during full-out performances. I am actively applying this in my regular classes, show rehearsals and open classes. My goal is to consistently deliver clear, strong and expressive movements that are fully controlled and executed with precision. This term, I feel I have truly started to settle into my new classes and environment. My confidence has noticeably grown as I am seeing my improvements much faster and more frequently than before. I believe this is because the classes that I have feel more appropriately challenging and tailored to support my progress more than in FDA. The structure, pace and expectations of BA have pushed me to improve at a faster rate, which has been both motivating and rewarding. At the beginning, I felt like I didn't belong in BA at times. However, as I have gotten to know my peers and have adjusted to my new classes, I have become more comfortable and confident in my place here. In my previous vlog, I mentioned that I was struggling with recurring acute injuries, which were holding back my progress. This term, I've made a habit of cooling down properly at the end of each day, which in turn has helped my body recover more effectively. I have also had a few sports massages, and these sessions have made a noticeable difference to how my body feels whilst in full-time training. As a result of these changes, I've significantly reduced the amount of times I'm getting injured, allowing me to train more consistently.